Starting a Knife Sharpening Business Part 4. So you've watched the other segments of this video before, I'm presuming, and now it's time to figure out what your setup's going to be. You need to figure out what part of the market you're going to go for. Are you going to go for farmers markets? Are you going to go to people's houses? Are you going to go to restaurants and have a route? Are you going to go to beauty salons and do hair clippers and beauty shears? Those are all valid niches that you can do, or you could do it all. Whatever setup you pick, you want to take into account that if you want to get into a farmer's market, size matters. In my area, if you've got a big truck, it can be a real problem and make certain markets not available for you. If you're driving around, you don't want to have a setup you have to keep setting up and taking down. So keep all of this in mind when you're deciding what your setup is going to be. In this video, I'm going to show you a young sharpener who just got started. He popped open his doors during the COVID shutdown when all the other knife sharpeners were closed up, and he did really good. I'm also going to show you the most deluxe system out there that you can really make a lot of money with, but it's expensive. And then I'm going to show you my system. My system's probably evolved the most over the years, but you'll see how you can start off with one thing and then it changes. Here's the video. So, can you explain why you decided to do knife sharpening and what your plans are?
So I started a few months ago during the stay-at-home orders. I have classes online, so I just had a lot more time on my hands, and I read about another pretty young guy doing the same business, and he was making good money from it. So I was out on a run, and I thought about the knife sharpening story that he told, and I just gave it a try. I wanted to see if there's any neighbors that wanted their knives sharpened, and surely enough there were. So I bought a machine and then learned how to sharpen knives, and then I've just been doing it for neighbors since.
So you said you saw somebody doing it. Did you have any knife sharpening experience before that? Or is it something that just you taught yourself in order to be able to start doing this?
No, I have not had any knife sharpening experience before this. I just learned through watching YouTube videos, just asking a lot of questions, joining communities, and just talking with the people that have all the experience, and they've been very helpful providing me good information about how to sharpen a knife and how to do it efficiently and produce a great edge.
So what did you start using when you first started out? What were your tools?
So I first started sharpening out of my garage, and my first tool was the Worksharp Canonian Edition with the blade grinder attachment. And this is how I started out. So I would just go to neighbors' houses, pick up the knives, take them back home to sharpen, and then drop them back off in usually a few hours. And by providing a convenient service for the neighbors, I figured that I can charge a premium. And once I saw that there was good business in this and I was getting a lot of customers, then I realized that I was spending a lot of time driving, and I wanted to cut some of that time off. So I went mobile with my setup so that I could also expand my area of service. So I have a generator and then everything I need just in the trunk of my car.
So you've been sharpening, you've got several clients now. What were your misconceptions that you had at the beginning that you now know to be different?
So when I started, I was watching YouTube videos and reading about how other people sharpen knives, and it seemed like a very straightforward process that was pretty simple. But the first few days of sharpening knives was pretty frustrating. I wasn't getting the knives any sharper. They may have actually been getting duller, and I thought, maybe this business isn't for me, that this is something that takes too much time to learn. I'm not able to do this, and I won't be able to create a business out of this.
So here's my story. I started off as a prop fabricator for the film industry. It was a real fun job. I got to build a lot of stuff and I learned a lot about tools. Retired early and sat around the house and finally started redecorating my backyard. I was going with a tiki theme and I started carving tikis. Part of tiki carving is learning how to sharpen. And you've got chisels, and I bought a Tormac, and I got quite good at that. I started sharpening knives for my wife and some neighbors, and it really was kind of enjoyable. So I decided to make a hobby job out of it. So here's my first market setup. I set it up in my backyard. I took photos, photoshopped that into a farmer's market, printed out some flyers, and headed out to the markets I wanted to get into. Much to my surprise, I realized that if you had a better setup and you had better equipment, that didn't matter. The knife sharpener that was already there, that was his market, you couldn't unseat them, which now that I look at it is the right way that it should have been done. So finally I got in a couple bad markets that were really slow. Also, I set up in a dirt lot near my house on the main drag. It's where they sell pumpkins and Christmas trees during the holidays. That was actually my best location. But here I am in my trailers, and finally I get a phone call from one of the best markets in town. They finally were changing out their sharpener, and they wanted me to take his place. They had seen my flyer 2 years before, and they saved it. So, to say the least, I was on my way. So now that I'm in a couple good markets and things are going well, I wanted to get a better tent. I designed this tent and had the tent made, the table I fabricated, and my tooling had changed yet once again. This tent kept people from being able to reach in and touch stuff. It really worked well, and it actually got me another market that was looking for a new sharpener to replace the one that they had. And so it does pay to have a better setup. But alas, I wanted one that was easier, one that didn't take an hour to set up. And then I saw it, the Fudge pop-up vending trailer. This was my inspiration. I went out and I bought an old pop-up tent trailer, the smallest one I could find, because it was important that my trailer fit within the 10 foot by 10 foot space. And this one was going to be 10 foot by 6.5 foot. Perfect. This may even open the door to get in other markets, which in actuality it did. The size does matter. This market here, I'm actually shoehorned in. I don't even have a full thickness because there's a planter behind my trailer, but I fit and I got the job. This is a great market to be in, and I was glad that I was able to pull it off. Okay, so now if you're going for markets, here's the deal. You need to find out if there's already a knife sharpener in the market you want. You can go to the market and ask the manager. Some knife sharpeners only come once a month or twice a week or every week. You can actually look at Yelp photos and see if a knife sharpener shows up, or look at the market manager's website. You can find out there. You'll find that if you try to call them, you can leave a message. They probably won't call you back. Just go to the market and show interest. Once you get in the market, you're going to need insurance and fill out some forms. They'll help you with all that. Now here's a piece of advice. Your first day you show up way early, way early. All the other vendors have a routine. They take turns coming in. They've got it all worked out between themselves. You don't want to cause a problem for that. You come in early, and then you'll find out that slot where you can slide in. With me, I want to show up last. And because I'm in a trailer, they actually give me the in spot. So I'm the last one in, but I got to make sure I'm the first one out. It's much better for me. I love it that way. Now here's the ultimate setup. If you want to really make a lot of money, this setup is really the fastest thing going. These have been made by a company called Perfect Edge, and a lot of guys have this setup. It's fast, it's bulletproof. These are not cheap motors. They're made to run your whole career. It has a vacuum system that collects all the dust. I've seen these in a lot of trucks, but I've never seen a truck with dust. They usually don't even wear masks. You can do a knife in 45 seconds with this system. Of course, if the knife has problems, it takes longer, but to have most of your knives take 45 seconds, that is fast, and they're sharp as well. The company that makes these is up in San Mateo. And the way they work is they will make it for you, and I believe they can ship it to you, or you can bring them your truck or trailer and they can help you install it. They give you 3 days of classes on how to use the system. If you're not quite getting it, they're flexible and they'll work with you to give you more time with them to learn how to use it. This is really a great system, but it is expensive. I've got a few people I know that have it. They said they really started making money once they bought this system. I've got a video here. I've pulled some clips out of a longer video I'm going to put a link to. This is the system and how it works. You can see how clean the area is. In my trailer, I'm always having to vacuum up. This comes with a way to do serrations, knives. You can repair knives. You can get lessons on how to do things with it. And it's just really slick. It's very capable. Again, you know, most of the professional guys have something like this, if not this exact system. Definitely watch the whole video. There's a lot of information in the video other than just on the system that you will want to watch if you're just starting out, and you could get some of that information. The company that makes this, Perfect Edge, they also have a line of knives that they sell. They actually sell several knives. I'm not quite sure how many of them he resells to sharpeners, but you could call and find out. I used to buy knives from him. You know, he has the higher end knives, which are the ones you want to sell. You know, you don't want to be in the business of doing mediocre sharpening, and why be selling cheap knives that they can buy online. You want to sell the better stuff where you can actually sell it to somebody, explain to them why they want it. So check that out too, because that's another great revenue source. He has very small minimums, which is what I liked, and his discount was real good. So you can give him a call. Again, it's Perfect Edge. I'll have it in the link. So there you go. You're ready to start your knife sharpening business. Good luck with your decisions, and have fun with it.